Hello. Sorry that I've been like so terrible at recording today. God, I've just forgotten the last couple days. Anyway, it's like 10:30, 10:40. Evelyn just left. We watched the most recent episode of The Pit, and it was fantastic, as always. I'm excited for the season 2 finale next Thursday. Yeah, but anyway, swim lessons, but they were fine. Just like pretty chill, nothing too crazy. And what else? Lab was fun. Atmosphere class was pretty chill. Yeah, I don't know. I think I have figured out what classes I'm going to try and get into for next semester, so long as everything works out. Don't have super high hopes that everything's gonna work out, but I'm just kind of willing it into existence by not creating a second plan, which is not very like me. But I'm just kind of accepting it, and I might end up in some class that I'm gonna not do very well in or hate, but at this point, it is what it is. And I just don't really have the energy to try and come up with another schedule and like try and sort everything out on my own. It's just like a lot of work, low key. So yeah, I'm basically just gonna like not do anything and hope that the universe decides to like me, I guess. Anyway, so yeah. So anyway, I'm just kind of getting ready for bed now. This weekend is going to be quite busy, mostly with just like watching various movies and TV shows. I have a lot of TV to both catch up on and just like watch in general. So tomorrow the plan is we've got Clash of Classes at 5:30, and then I think we're going to watch some Stranger Things with Naomi, and then we've got movie night with Natalie and that whole crew, and I believe we will be watching A League of Their Own, of which I will need to be wearing some kind of sports gear and a baseball cap of sorts, so I can't forget to wear that. And then Saturday we're gonna go watch the drama. A group of us are gonna go out, and then Sunday night we're watching La La Land, and we might be watching some more Stranger Things somewhere Saturday and Sunday. Anyway, it's just like a lot of various movies and TV. But hey, I'm not complaining. I'm quite excited. I also have like 2 episodes of High Potential, 2 episodes of The Rookie, 2 episodes of 911, if not more, both 911 shows, that I need to watch. And there's going to be more that come out this following week. So just gonna be a lot of TV. Thankfully I think 911 is going on like 911 Nashville is going on a 3-week hiatus. I imagine other 911, like normal 911, will also probably be going on a hiatus for a little bit. Don't know about High Potential, don't know about The Rookie, but they all tend to be kind of running on a very similar, if not the same schedule. So we will see. I don't really know, but I have a fair bit of homework that I will have to be doing for next week. So I'm kind of starting to slowly like chip away at some of it. The biggest thing will be studying for my chemistry test, and then my Spanish writing assignment is literally due like on Monday. It's not done yet. It's in the works of getting done. Portions of the like revision is done, but nowhere near all of it. So that's where we're sitting right now. But I also have a geology reading, but I can basically knock that out pretty quickly. And then most of it's just various pre-class, pre-lab assignments. Nothing too crazy other than that. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of a lot, and it's slightly stressful. But again, I'm just like reminding myself that everything will work out. And it will all be totally fine. So yes, yeah. We also have housing and class registration next week. So there's just not a lot going on. And I am indeed very excited for everything that will be happening. But also overwhelmed. So yeah, I think that I might try. We'll see how successful I am, but tomorrow's gonna try and be like an offline day. I'm gonna try and stay off of my phone as much as possible. And I'm just gonna really try and get in a bunch of work for next week done, because there's gonna be a lot of things just like generally happening. I'm thinking that as much of my homework as I can get done between movie and TV screenings this weekend as possible, the better. So we've got like basically 3 more weeks of classes left. So I just really need to stay on top and ahead of all my work, and I think I'll be able to make it through just fine. I think this week my main mission is going to be do well in chemistry, finish Spanish, and finish my atmosphere final project. That basically just entails a 250-word artist statement. So this week's gonna be kind of a lot of like writing, but I'm hoping that if I can knock out my atmosphere final project, I feel like that'll make that class just kind of go along much more easily, because I can just kind of like coast through, do what I need to do to get by. I think there will be like, there's a weather journal due this week, and then there'll be another one due in 2 weeks, like the last week of class or roughly around there. We might have 4 weeks left of class. I don't know, 3 or 4, somewhere in there. So I might try and knock out both of those relatively soon. I don't know. I might have to wait on that last one, because typically the journals are supposed to be like relevant stuff that's happening at the time. And if I write it like 3 weeks or 2 weeks in advance, it's just not really going to be the same. So anyway, this is probably going to be it for today. But that has been my day. That is my plan for the week. I feel like that's all I really do in these videos. I just kind of like, here's what I did today, here's what I'm planning on doing. But, you know, I guess that's all that really matters. So this is supposed to be just like a, here's how college is. So I think that I'm portraying that pretty well. But anyway, I'm gonna finish writing my to-do list for tomorrow, start planning out some things, and maybe read a chapter or 2 of my book, and then I'm going to sleep. So good night. Good morning. Okay, so I know the last couple days I've been kind of off in terms of filming and whatever, but today we're gonna be back, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get ready really quick. Use the bathroom, but this is more important, I guess. Okay. Yeah, so I guess this is just like a cute little get ready with me. You have to ignore my eyebrows at all times because they're just a pain, quite frankly. Sure, it's like fine. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so it's currently 9:30. I've been up for quite some time, but I just felt like kind of chatting around for a bit, so that's exactly what I did. So at some point today I need to do my Spanish video because that is due tonight. I don't really have any other work that's like due immediately tonight or tomorrow night, but this Spanish video is due at midnight tonight, so okay. The difference is crazy. This is literally my favorite mascara. I've used a bunch. I used to use like the Malibu, I think is what it's called. I still have it somewhere, but I don't know. I already have relatively long lashes. They just tend to like to go into my eyeball. So I use the Act Natural stuff just because it like gives some like lift and definition, I guess. Whatever. And then this was a gift. But I like it because it's not like anything too crazy. Okay. Sounds good. And then I'll put this on after I finish brushing my teeth. We're gonna go ahead and put jewelry on. But yeah. This bracelet is from Costa Rica. Just some like, little gift shop. I don't even remember where. These earrings, I don't even know where they're from. Probably like H&M or something silly like that. Most of the jewelry I have is like cheap-ish. Oh, wow, those eyebrows were really pissing me off. Like, sure. I guess. Okay. There we go. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and open. Okay. Today it's finally like starting to get warm outside, which is magical, if you will. Okay, I'm gonna put my shoes on. Yes, thank God for warm weather. It's supposed to be like a high of like 70 today. So blessed. Literally everything. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to class and then probably just get something small at like our grab and go station. And then eat that between my bio and chem class. Chemistry today is just kind of a review class. So I will still be there, but there's a chance that like if we're going over something that I don't really feel like I need to be going over, I may work on like my Spanish video script or whatever. So yeah. Anyway. I feel like I want to cut my hair again, but I just can't really decide. Anyway, here's the outfit for today. Got my orange linen pants. I think those are from American Eagle. This is from, I think, Old Navy. Shoes are New Balance. Yeah. Jacket is courtesy of my high school. Because it's like the only zip up that I actually own. But yeah, I'm gonna go use the bathroom and brush my teeth, and then I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. This is literally, like, I don't know what I would do without this. I have tried so many different things, and I had this when it was, like, in, like, stick form, I guess. I had 2 of them because it came in a 2-pack, and I lost both of them. I think one of them I might have used up, but the other one I literally don't know where it went, and I'm forever devastated. The, like, Aquaphor, like, I think it's actually like a chapstick and sunscreen combined situation, but I don't know, it's fine, it still works, but for some reason it just doesn't work nearly as well with me. So anyway, yeah, I'm hoping that my first class of the day is pretty chill. It typically is, like, just, I don't know, it's very note heavy, but on the bright side, we get out, like, let's see, we get out at 10:15 most classes that start at 10 and at 11:15, so getting out, like, almost 30 minutes early, which is great, but it's still just, like, kind of a lot sometimes. So anyway, oh, can't forget my watch. My watch is just, my watch band specifically is so dirty, but I don't really know what to do. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go to class. Class starts in 15 minutes, so it's a good amount of time. Anyway, see you later. On my way to Spanish. Today's been pretty good. It's nice and warm outside. Guys, it feels so nice outside. Anyway, oh my god, I can't. Well, now that my Friday is basically done, my school week is done, I'm gonna go try and lock the freak in and finish this Spanish assignment. I was able to get a pretty significant amount of work done on my Spanish assignment during chemistry and Spanish today. Just don't tell anybody else, but anyway, everybody's out on the green. It's so freaking cute. It feels absolutely fantastic outside, and yeah, anyway, hi, sorry, I paused briefly. Yeah, it's literally beautiful outside. I'm actually gonna go ahead and open up my window here in just a minute, but anyway, yay! I love when the sun is out. I feel like a totally different human being. It's crazy. But yeah, I am done revising, like, I think 2 out of the 3 portions that I need to do for my Spanish assignment, so I'm getting ready to do the last one. I have figured out, I think, my strategy. The first, wow, this angle's really cute. The first revision that we did for our first writing assignment, I just did it where I literally, like, would go in and wherever I could add words, I would add words. Wherever I felt like I could expand on a sentence, I would do that. And I just kind of did that for the whole thing, like every part that I needed to revise or everything that I needed to add in or fix to meet the requirements of the assignment and the revision. But this time I started doing that. So we do the original writing assignment on paper. So I took that and I type it all out onto Google Doc, and then I highlight and add comments to the portions that have been marked as errors or whatever. So anytime that there's vocabulary that needs to change, anytime a verb tense needs to change, if there's a spelling error or punctuation error, an issue with agreement, anything like that, I mark it because that's what marks, or that's what is marked on the paper. So I mark those things. And then I go through, and anytime that I fix one of those errors, I highlight it green. Obviously, like, I don't know, to me that just makes sense. And then any additional material that I add, I mark it in yellow. But this time, when I went to go add my additional material, I was like, I feel like I answered the questions to the fullest extent. So I was like, I don't really know, one, what to add, and two, it's just a lot for me to think about. Okay, the question is in Spanish, so I have to translate the question to English in my brain. And then I have to look at my response, translate my Spanish response into English so I can remind myself of that. And then when I'm going through and trying to add material, I have to like answer the question in English, translate it to Spanish, and then write it down. And then I have to, I don't know, it's just like, I have to like think, whatever. And I know that sounds like literally so dumb because it's like, well, that's obviously how this process works. But to me, it just like feels like a more complicated process. So I might be making it more complicated the way that I'm doing it, but to me, it makes sense. It only has to make sense to me for me to want to do it, okay? So I have gone through and translated and written down all of the questions and my original responses in English on the document. And then I have gone through, and so I've got like number 1, and it's the first question, or like the first prompt. And then right below it is my original response, or what I want my full response to be. So it's what I wrote originally plus what I want to add. And I underlined what I wanted to add so that way that I knew the difference between what I had already written and my new material. And then below that, I included my edited original response. So that is the current state of my edited original response, right? So when I first put all my material in, right, I highlighted everything and I went through and changed stuff to green when I fixed it. I took that like fixed response and put it right below my English response. And now I'm going through and I'm translating my English response into Spanish with all new material and everything. And I'm also making sure to include the corrections that I made previously, right? So there's like 4 different steps there. But even though it sounds like a lot, half of that is just like copying and pasting. Or at least one portion is. And the other portions have been relatively easy. The hardest part is obviously the last step. And then in that last step, I make sure to highlight what's green, or not highlight, but change the font color to green, and then change the font color to yellow for like their respective things. Anyway, I know that it sounds like a lot, because now that I'm saying it out loud, it is, but I'm already done with the second one, so I just have to do the third one. But the unfortunate thing is that even when I finish adding the words and correcting the stuff, I then have a whole other part of the assignment to do. Now, part of that assignment, well, okay, it consists of, 1, I need to make sure that I include my word count, right? So I have 3 different sections for my word count. I have before additional content, but after corrections word count. My original word count, I need to include that as well. My original word count was 266 words. Technically, we were not supposed to go over 250, but she didn't dock me anything. So I have 266. Then I need to do before additional content and after any corrections that I made. I'm going to get rid of that one because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The biggest thing is that we need to add at least 180 words, but no more than 230 words. That doesn't mean necessarily corrections. That just means additional content. So that's why I'm highlighting things yellow. So all I need to know is that like my words in yellow needs to total up to somewhere between 180 and 230. So I have my original word count and my additional content word count and then final word count. That's it. Okay. Then we have to do these 3 different sections. We have language, grammar, and then repetition and translations / connection of ideas. Those last 2 are together. But for language, we have 2 things. The first, we have to show 3 words that were used, like vocabulary that was used appropriately in the first version of the text. Which means that I'm going to go into my textbook and see explicitly what vocabulary was learned in this lesson, and if I used it, check it off. Then the second thing is words I corrected or added to the second version, and that's 3 words. So I'm going to have to go through my responses and make sure that I'm including words or correcting words that are part of those vocab lists. But anyway, that's a problem for a later time. Then I've started on the grammar portion. Oh, hi. The grammar portion includes 5 sentences where I show for each sentence the first version, so the problematic sentence in version 1, so what was wrong with it, whatever, I highlight that or change the font color to red. And then for the same sentence, I will show the edited sentence in version 2, so it's basically just the corrected version. And I've currently done 3 sentences, both parts, so I only need 2 more sentences for that, which should be really easy. I just have to, like, again, go back through and find them. Then we have our last section, which is repetition and transitions / connection of ideas. This is different than it was in the last time that we did it, but it was previously like for both of those together you need at least 5 examples, but now it's like for repetitions you have to use 3 examples, and for transition / connection of ideas you have to have 3 examples. So anyway, the idea behind repetition is that you're going to make a list, at least 3, of pronouns or other words that I used in version 2 to try and avoid repetition. So I need to pull out 3 instances of repetition in version 1, and then for that same exact sentence or repetition, I need to show what I did to, like, prevent repetition. Right, so it's the same idea as before, like problematic and then edited 3 times. And then the second part of that is make a list of transition words and punctuation you used to help connect ideas. So also 3 examples, problematic and correction. It says they can be a correction or words and punctuation you added in the second version. Yeah, so their example here is problematic sentence in version 1, and I think this would be considered under transitions. But it says, he did not invite me, so he was in a hurry. So obviously is not what you would use there. So the edited version is, he did not invite me because he was in a hurry. So any instance like that I have. But I'm not really having any issues with that. So I don't know how I'm going to find 3 examples of this. But it also says this can be both a correction or things that I added in the second version. So I don't really know. But we're just going to have to see. And then the very, very last part of this assignment is a short reflection. This time we have to reflect on how we felt about this assignment format compared to the first one, because it was slightly different. The first one was just like, here's a bunch of questions that you have to answer. They're all about the same thing. Like, you have 1 prompt, make sure that you answer all of these things. Whereas this time it was like, hey, you have essentially 3 different prompts and you have to answer like a few questions for each prompt. I personally liked this version much better because I could, like, digest it into smaller chunks, if that makes sense. But anyway, so yeah, it's 3:23. I'm probably gonna go to dinner right at 5, just because I think it'd be easier just to go now or like then, but that gives me an hour and a half. So my goal is to knock this out in an hour and a half. I also could mark off, I did my Spanish video and I made my chemistry note cards. So I'm, in terms of homework for this week, like stuff that will be due by Saturday night, I'm done. This next week is going to be a little bit terrible just because I have a lot. But again, like I said, if I can knock out my Spanish writing today, that'll be a huge chunk because that's due on Monday, which means that Monday night I can focus on getting ahead for the rest of the week instead of like rushing to get this specific assignment done. So anyway, I'm probably going to go. I know I've been yapping for a hot minute, but I'll probably see you when I'll see you when I'm getting ready to leave and go to dinner. I can show you briefly if I don't see you what I'm planning on wearing tonight. So we're starting off the evening by going to dinner, and then we're going to go to Clash of Classes. I keep wanting to call it Class Clash because we had Class Clash when I was in high school. It's the idea that like the different class years all compete against each other in various challenges. I think that that's pretty typical for high schools, but I didn't really realize how common it was because none of the other high schools in my area really did anything like it. But anyway, because I am a Green Griffin, I need to wear green for this event. And I feel weird wearing something that's either not solid green or Mount Holyoke, like themed. So we're just gonna wear this It's literally this exact same shirt, but in green and with a white collar. Oh well. And we're going to wear it with obviously the correct piece of clothing that you would wear with a shirt like this, which is a pair of black athletic shorts. To be fair, I will be participating in approximately 5 minutes of like athletic activity. So wear those. And then over top, because then I'm going to watch Stranger Things, which I don't really have a dress code for. But then after that, I'm going to movie night where we will be watching A League of Their Own, and dress code for movie night is anything like sports / jersey related. So if you have any jerseys, wear that, or just anything sports related, and baseball caps. So this is the only baseball cap that I own. So I'm gonna wear this. And this is like, I really don't have a ton of like sports related things. Obviously I have like swimming related stuff, but like, I don't know, to me that doesn't really count for tonight. But I have this, which is a new addition. Look how cute. So this will be thrown on over top of my outfit, and I'm just gonna wear it with my shorts for Stranger Things and movie night. So anyway, yeah, and maybe I'll throw a green bandana on too if I'm feeling like extra fancy for clash of classes, but I don't really know. So anyway, yeah, I have some outfit changes tonight, but okay, I'm gonna go and see if I can't knock this out. So see you later.